We're running.
Right.
All right, cool. So the point of the matter
Wait,
is...
stop my time because he's now talking again.
15 seconds, man. For
Go on.
goodness sake, man.
Go on,
What's
talk.
wrong with you, man?
Talk.
Go on, let's all be
Go on.
nice people.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Okay. Okay, the point of the matter is that we don't put, as Muslim, I'm not the perfect Muslim, but we don't put a human perspective to God.
Right.
You put him son of God. It's a universe and beyond. We don't even explore 1% of the universe. So what are you talking about? You put a son, everything. As a human, I would never accept a God coming as a son. As simple as that, mate.
Okay. Are you ready to start my time?
Yeah.
So no more than 2
seconds,
minutes.
man.
Tell me when you've begun.
Oh, yeah, right, just go.
So I'm
Speak,
gonna
man.
go. So I'm gonna speak now for 2 minutes. The
how long you want,
the
man.
conversation that he interrupted was a conversation
you're an idiot, man.
about the resurrection.
Started off with a
Now
negative
notice
point.
he's triggered,
negative,
just like
man.
I said he was triggered, and I
negative.
guarantee he's going to walk away.
Look at your YouTube
But the
video.
fact of the matter is, told you he would walk away, so I'll finish what I was saying. So there are 12 facts historically that the Qur'an has no explanation for. 12 facts. And I've asked 3 Muslims in a row and not one of them can defend their Qur'an. The Qur'an says that Christ was not crucified, but someone else was crucified like him. But everything we know about history 2,000 years ago tells us that Christ was crucified, that he was buried in a tomb, that his apostles did believe that he died and despaired. The tomb was empty, that they claimed to have seen the risen Jesus, that they were transformed by those experiences, that the central point of their message was that Christ had risen from the dead. So much so that they started honoring Sunday, the first day of the week, as an important day. That James, who was a skeptic of Jesus Christ, came to believe in Jesus Christ. That Paul, who was a persecutor of the church, came to follow Jesus Christ and to proclaim the resurrection. And that these apostles, many of them died for what they believe.
Correct, Hope.
Those are the historical facts.
Yeah.
If the Quran is true, only 3 of those facts can be accounted for. What about all the other facts? My challenge to the Muslims is give me your single explanation that accounts for the facts. You don't have one, which means that since these are facts, the Quran is false. It makes a claim that is untrue. And I challenge any Muslim to defend their Quran from my argument. So, is there anyone that would like to do so? I'll restate the argument again.
Restate it.
We've got 12 facts about what happened in the 1st century, and then we've got the 7th century claim that the Quran states that Christ was never crucified. If the Quran is true, then the facts that happened in history should never have occurred, such as the birth of the church, such as the conversion of Paul, such as the veneration of Sunday as a holy day, such as the belief in the empty tomb.
Right.
Where is your answer to my argument, Muslims?
Any?
I don't think there's sounding silence.
Well, you can stand off camera if you like.
I don't even want to get involved. I have enough knowledge on this topic to debate.
So I've demonstrated. Now,
I'm honest with things. Yeah, I'm honest.
I'm guessing by the beard. Are you Muslim?
Yeah, I am.
So there we got 4 Muslims in a row. No answer to the argument. None.
That's the guy before.
He has
Yeah.
no knowledge on the topic. is it?
That's fine. But the point is, no Muslim has any knowledge of the topic. They're all ignorant of the topic because they believe in the fabrications and the lies of the Quran, and they never bother to investigate what happened in history. History disproves the Quran according to the resurrection. We Christians have an answer to these 12 facts. What accounts for these 12 facts is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And if Christ had rose from the dead, then this is a false book. He said it's a lie.
Exactly.
And Muslims have no answer. So, at least they're honest. I silenced them all. At least they're honest. Would you like to talk about a topic that you do know about?
Listen, I'm not here to debate. I just like to observe.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not that type of guy.
What's your name, brother?
My name's Sonny, by the way.
Sonny, nice to meet you, Sonny. Don't put him on camera. You don't want him on camera. Yeah.
Put my voice on it. I don't even
Look,
wanna-
Sonny, have you got a Bible?
I do have a Bible. Yeah, I was actually a Catholic growing up.
Yeah. I mean, look, yeah. There's sadly lots of Catholics that don't know anything about their faith and they get tripped up by simple arguments. But my point to you, Sonny, is I'd like to give you a gift.
I'll accept it.
Yep. It's just giving it as a gift.
Yeah, but this kind of behaviour is quite condescending.
Why?
I just don't
Oh,
respect.
you know why I'm
He's a Latino, bro. It's just that they're very expressive. They're just very expressive.
No, but no, why? Because your last brother, he actually like received the gift and he put it back.
He refused it.
That's the reason why I'm
As a Muslim, that is not the way to carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? I know you might.
Well, I gave you a gift.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Why are you getting to me?
Accept it. No. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm saying you said my brother disrespected you and
He did.
Yeah, he put
Yeah.
the gift back.
That's not how you should be.
Well, I applaud the fact you're calling out your Muslim brother. Well done. So my point to you is, if Jesus Christ was crucified, Islam is false. So go away and look into whether Jesus Christ was crucified.
Look at the 12 points.
Yeah,
back
go
to the
and
tape
look.
listen to the
No,
12
that's
points.
about the resurrection.
Right,
But if
okay,
Christ was
alright.
crucified, you look after yourself. Let's see if a Muslim can answer my question. God bless you, bro. Peace be with you. So I've asked a Sunni Muslim. He has no answer to my question. I've asked a Quranist Muslim, and he has no answer to my question. I asked another Sunni Muslim, and he had no answer to my question. So now I want to ask you, a Sufi Muslim, whether the Sufis can answer my question.
By the way, I'm not a Sufi, but
You told me you were a Sufi.
yeah, I read their books, yeah, but I would call myself a Muslim only.
Okay, fair
Because
enough.
we're not allowed to call ourselves anything else.
That's fine. Generic Catholic Muslim. Right. So here's the question, right? There are 12 indisputable facts of history about what happened in the 1st century with regards to the birth of the church. Okay? And these include things like Christ was crucified, he was buried in a tomb, that the apostles despaired about the fact that he was crucified, that his tomb was found empty 3 days later, that the apostles believed that they had had literal experiences of the risen Jesus, that they went on to preach that as the central part of their message, that they, because of that event, went on to honor and celebrate Sunday as an important day, that James, the brother of Jesus, who doubted that Jesus was the Messiah, became a follower of Jesus, that Paul, a persecutor of the church, went on to become a Christian, and that Christians proclaimed the resurrection. So my question to you is, explain that to me using the Quranic narrative. Explain all of those facts. Why did those events happen in history if the Quran is true?
We're talking about basically Christian history of the 1st century, Jesus and his story, his life, his death. What we know about Jesus and the things that we are sure about him is what Allah say in the Quran.
Yeah.
For example, they didn't kill him, nor did they crucify him.
Yeah.
So basically, that's all I know really about Jesus' story, and maybe a couple of hadiths here and there about Jesus. But basically, Islam say Jesus was never crucified. He never died yet. He's not died. He didn't die yet. So that's all I know about the whole topic.
So let us assume, Saeed, for the rest of the argument, that what the Quran says is true.
Yeah.
So Jesus wasn't crucified, he didn't die, and someone else died in his place.
Okay.
Explain to me why Christians, the first Jewish Christians, started honoring Sunday as a special day.
You mean as it relates to the death of Jesus? You
As
mean?
it relates to the resurrection.
Resurrection, okay. Islam say, according to this story, is that because God said it was made to appear to them
That he was crucified.
he was crucified. So that might indicate that Allah put the face, the example, appearance of Jesus on someone else.
But that happened on a Friday, not on a Sunday. Why did they venerate Sunday?
Why?
Because if it was just about the death,
because you believe
they would have
he-
venerated the Friday. But why did they venerate the Sunday?
You mean Christians venerate the Sunday?
The first Jewish Christians venerate. There you go.
According to you.
There you go.
According to you,
Right.
he rose.
So let's now,
But-
Saeed, listen. Let's assume that my claim's false.
Yeah.
The Gospels are not true. That Jesus didn't rise from the dead.
All right.
that the Quran is true, explain to me then why a group of Jews started venerating a Sunday.
A Jew, group of Jews.
Yes, the first Christians were all Jews and they started venerating a Sunday.
I thought Jews rejected Jesus.
No, the first Christians were all Jews.
Okay. If we talk about how Jesus rose from the dead, the problem is nobody saw him doing that.
Yes, they did.
No, all you have is a couple of women who, when were going somewhere, and then Jesus appeared in the sky to them. So they didn't actually. These are the witnesses you have, right?
Can I reply?
Who saw him coming out from the grave?
Right. So actually, this brings me to another historical problem with the Quranic narrative. Because if the Quranic narrative is true, then there was no crucifixion or death of a man called Jesus. And so, because there was no death or crucifixion, there can't be any resurrectional experiences.
According to Islam, that didn't happen.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that means there's no resurrectional experiences. But what is a fact of history is, and even Dr. Bart Ehrman, a scholar you've quoted to me many times because you like him.
No,
listen. Dr. Bart Ehrman agrees with Dr. Mike Lacona, who's a Christian, that the first Jewish Christians like Mary Magdalene, Peter, Paul, James, Stephen, Judas, the good Judas, the sons of thunder, Thaddeus, all experienced the resurrection. If the Quranic story is true, that experience never should have happened. So my question to you, assuming that the Quranic story is true, why did so many people have the experience of the resurrected Jesus?
Because a couple of women, according to me, as far as I'm not speaking for Islam, what I think, what I believe about, what I heard about the whole story is that Jesus, according to you, was put in the grave.
Yes.
And then some women came on a Sunday to see him, right?
Yes.
And did they see nobody in the grave? What happened?
Yes, the tomb was empty.
Okay, the tomb was empty. Okay. It's unfortunate and very sad that people missed to see the man rising from the grave.
Yeah.
They missed to see the biggest miracle in mankind history.
Yeah.
So Jesus, according to you, Jesus came to die and rise again from the dead.
Yeah.
What's the point of that if nobody's going to see him doing that?
Right, but my question, Saeed, with respect, you haven't actually answered my question.
Which is?
My question again is, if the Quranic story is true, there is no reason for the resurrectional experiences. So assuming that the Quran is true, assuming that what you believe is accurate, why did people have the resurrectional experiences in the first place? Now,
on a hearsay.
It wasn't. No, hold on.
No, it's on a hearsay.
No, 1 second.
They heard the woman say he rose, so that's why they believe it.
Right, let me reply to that. That's actually historically false. Paul did not believe on hearsay. Peter did not believe on hearsay. Thomas did not believe on hearsay. Thaddeus did not believe on hearsay.
They did both.
Prove it.
Because
prove it.
These people who celebrate Sunday, is they heard this woman say Jesus appeared to us.
That's not what they claim.
So how do they know Jesus rose?
So here's why
you tell me, how do they know
Great
Jesus rose?
question.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
And here's the evidence.
Because he said already.
I'm going to answer your question, Said. I'm going to answer. In the book of Acts, we have the records of what the early church proclaimed. Paraphrases of the sermons that the first apostles gave. And in those sermons, people like Peter, sorry, I'm just making a point. Just making a point. No. Wait, hold on 1 second. It's not up to him. He's interrupting me. It's up to me. Yeah, I want to finish my point. I want to finish my point. I want to finish my point. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Don't be rude, please. Don't be rude. Let me finish what I was saying. No. You did kick that ball at me. But however, that's a distraction. That's the distraction. That was a distraction.
It was a distraction.
Look, yes, goodbye. He's right. So let me answer the question, Said, that you asked. It's a fair question, so let me give a fair answer.
Go on.
The reality is, in the book of Acts, we have accounts of the preaching of the early church. And in that preaching, we have the paraphrases of what Christ said of what Peter and the other apostles proclaimed, the
No, I'm going now,
kerygma.
I'm going.
And in that
I'm going.
kerygma,
I'm going.
Christ was crucified
speak
and Christ was risen from the dead. And the reality is, they don't claim it because someone else told them. They claimed it because they experienced it for themselves. Mary Magdalene experienced it. Peter experienced it. Paul experienced it. James experienced it. Thomas experienced it.
Bob, I'm going.
That's the reality.
Can you tell me, these people who believe in Jesus rising, they didn't see it, so what they base their belief on? Can you be brief, please?
They experienced it. They experienced the risen Jesus.
I could say I experienced anything, you know.
But why would you?
Yeah.
Why would
because
you?
Because it's not only for you. It's not only in Christianity.
But why would you make it up?
In Islam, we have a resurrection.
Answer the question.
No.
Why would you make it up?
Make up what?
Well, assuming that the Quran is true and assuming your argument is true, you've got to accuse the first apostles of making it up. Why?
Look, we have that in Islam because Allah say that the Quran bring the dead back to life. The Quran bring the dead to life.
I'm pretty sure that's idolatry, but that's not answering my question.
What do you mean idolatry?
That's not answering my question.
The word of God bring people to what are you talking about?
My question
the Quran is the word of God.
Why would we're not talking about the Quran, we're talking about the first apostles. Why would they make it up?
Because a lot of hearsay, a lot of lies were flying around.
We're not talking about hearsay.
They made it a religion, you know.
No. It's not. They founded the religion based on their own experiences.
Okay, good then. So Jesus.
So why would they make it? Why would they make it up?
Okay, don't bring Jesus into it.
No,
then.
but they claim to experience the risen Jesus.
We all die and rise. So what? It's not.
Are you
only
saying Jesus Christ rose from the dead?
It happened, you know. It happened.
I agree. It definitely happened. Hallelujah.
It happened. Yeah.
Christus anesti. Christ is
But
risen.
Jesus hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
He's not.
Okay. So there we go. 5 Muslims in a row. 5 Muslims actually have no answers to the arguments at all. 5. So my challenge to Muslims is where? Where is your evidence?